Welcome to a new video. So in the previous video we have seen how to start a SIP, that is Systematic Investment Plan in ICICIDirect.com. So in today's video let us see how to start a SEP, that is Systematic Equity Plan in ICICIDirect.com. So before we get started, let us just try to understand the difference between SIP and SEP. So basically SIP is something which is used to start an investment in mutual funds, and SEP is something which is used to start an investment in equity funds. So to understand the basic differences between a mutual fund investment and an equity investment, kindly go through the video which is showing up in the I button, so that you will get some basic understanding about a mutual fund investment and an equity investment. So now let's just proceed and see how we can start a SEP in ICICIdirect.com. So as you can see, I have already logged into my ICICI Direct portal. So once you have logged into your ICICI Direct portal, you need to click on equity. So once you click on equity, you can see a lot of options here, and you need to click on Systematic Equity Plan, that is SEP. So once you click on SEP, you can see this many options here. So this is where you can directly start a SEP by directly entering a particular stock and by selecting the exchange. So let us see one by one what all options you need to give to start a SEP. So the first thing you need to do is you need to select an exchange. For this case, let me just select it as NSE, and the product, there is only one option here. You can just select cash. You don't have any other options. So here we need to select the stock on which we are going to start this SEP. So for this case, let me just select it as HDFC. So once I enter HDFC, the stock names pops up here. So let me select HDFC here. And action, there is only one action, that is buy. So obviously when you start an SEP, you can just buy and accumulate a particular stock. So we don't have a short selling option here. We are just buying and accumulating the particular security actually. And how we going to start this SEP, like whether you want to invest certain amount, or always you want to have, like irrespective of the amount, you always want to accumulate certain quantity. So it's up to you how you want to start this SEP. So based on that, you can either select amount. So for example, you always want to purchase this particular security based on the amount which you are given. So for example, let me give 5,000 here. So based on the amount which you have entered here, this with this particular amount, the security will be bought on the frequency which you have set here. Or in other ways, like in other case, like suppose if you want to buy certain quantity irrespective of what the value of this particular security, so in that case you can always select quantity. And for example, let me say 50. So always you want to purchase 50 quantities of this security based on the frequency which you have set. Okay, so when I say about frequency, let's try to understand what all the frequencies available through which you can start this SEP. So as you can see, the default option here is daily. Like daily means like every day this much. In this case, every day 50 quantities of this particular security will be bought, and that will be accumulated in your Demat account. So we have different options here. We can either select daily, or we can set the frequency as weekly. So weekly, once 50 quantity get accumulated, like accumulated, or like it's get allocated to your Demat account. Or you can also select monthly, like every monthly basis 50 quantities of this particular security gets allocated to your account. So let me just select it as monthly for this case. And also you need to select a total period until which the SEP should be active in your account. So minimum you have to select 1 month. For this case, let me just select as 24 months, that is 2 years. And after that also you need to select a start date, like when you want to start this SEP. So for this case, let me just put it as 2021 Jan, 1st of Jan. So from 1st of Jan this particular SEP should be placed. And just click on proceed for confirmation. So once you click on proceed for confirmation, the order gets placed. and you can see this particular order which is been placed. You can see that details in SEP Request Book. So here you can see the stock details, how much, like what are the quantity, like all the details, like that particular SEP request details, you can see it here in this particular tab. And suppose if you have placed multiple SEPs on different securities or different stocks, so if you just want to see all the details of the all the details of the SEPs existing on your account, you can just switch to existing SEPs tab. So here you can see all the active SEPs which is existing in your account. So the next option you can see is SEP Stock List. Honestly, I'm not quite sure what is the exact purpose of this one, but let me just show you one example how you can make use of this. For example, let me just select a stock here. So let me put HDFC and select it here, and if I click on view, one is belonging to BSE and one is belonging to NSE. So if you click on place SEP request here, it directly takes you to this screen and the stock code automatically pops up. So this is the only benefit of this particular tab. I'm quite not sure why this has been placed here. Maybe some other purpose is there, I'm not sure actually. So maybe you can just make use of this and try to explore more this option. So let's move on to the other option, that is ETF SEP Stock List. So ETF is nothing but exchange traded funds. So this is like somewhat similar to mutual fund. So a fund will contain multiple stocks. Similarly, ETF will also contain multiple stocks. Always you can also start an SEP request on this particular ETF fund as well. So for that, you need to click on place SEP request and it always takes you to this particular page and you can start a SEP. So the last tab is Golden Stocks Portfolio. So when you click on Golden Stocks Portfolio, so this is not a stock recommendation video, this is just for an educational purpose. So it's up to you whether you want to go with the suggestions provided by ICICI Direct, or you can always do your own research and you can start your SIP based on your research. Okay, so this is how you can start an SEP in ICICIDirect.com. So I hope the video was helpful, and thank you for watching.